Patrick McNeil back here with you at the first intermission as the Eagles taking on the Val-d'Or Foreurs this evening. Going to take you now to an interview I recorded earlier this week with François-Olivier Dénommé, who was the play-by-play announcer for the Foreurs. And again, this was recorded prior to Val-d'Or's victory against St. John last night, so we knew nothing at that time of Peyton Hoyt's suspension. And numbers that are quoted in this interview are obviously based on the Foreurs' start to the season, minus last night's game with St. John. Enjoyed this conversation. Hope you do as well. Patrick McNeil back here with you at the intermission, joined now by François-Olivier Dénommé, the voice of the Val-d'Or Foreurs. François-Olivier, maybe a bit of a slow start to the season for the Foreurs. People concerned with that in Val-d'Or.
Oh, they're real deeply concerned, I'd say, especially the fans who are waiting for a winning season. And keep in mind that the Huskies won 2 President Cup in the last 4 years, so their arch rivals are, at least the fans, are hungry for some wins. And it's not complicated, Pat. Everything is off right now. The offense has real trouble finding the back of the net. The defense relies way too much on the goaltenders. The team is undisciplined, and the special teams may very well be the worst I have ever seen in junior hockey. So far this year, they have 3 power play goals, and they have allowed 3 goals while they are on the power play. I've never seen that. They are even on the power play. You cannot be worse than that.
That is a pretty discouraging stat early in the season for sure.
That's recipe, Pat, for a disaster, and that's exactly what happened. 4 points in 7 games thus far.
When I look at this Val-d'Or team, I look at the core of it being the 4 guys that were drafted in the first 2 rounds in 2001, and Jacob Gaucher, Anthony Alapo, Maxence Guenette, and Jeremy Michel. How do you think that group is progressing? Is that the core of this team?
No. There's no core. Quite frankly, Pat, the problem is this is a very, very young team. 3 20s and 3 19s. The veteran leadership is composed by 6 guys, and 3 of them have lower roles in the depth chart. So that's a team that is really young, that relies way too much on the goalie, Jonathan Lemieux. He is really, really good, but he cannot score goals on offense.
Now, do you think he is in the conversation now for the top goalie in the league based on his start to the season?
For sure, I'd say he is the best goalie in the QMJHL. There's no doubt in my mind. Put a real good defense in front of him, and I wonder if he's going to have a 950 save percentage or something like that. He is doing miracles. The puck is always in the Foreurs zone. They are giving up quality chances, tons of shots. We thought there were going to be less shots than the years before. It's not happening quite yet.
You mentioned earlier that fans may be a little bit cranky because of all the winning that the Huskies have been doing. Just how much does that influence Val-d'Or, and does that make the fans even more disappointed? They're not basing the success based on what they do, but what the Huskies do.
For sure, they are looking at the standings, and the Huskies are better than we thought they were, and they are up in the standings. And like I said, 2 President Cups in the last 4 years, and the fans, they want to see wins. They don't care if it's 6-5 or 1-0. They want wins. And I asked the owner of the Foreurs last year, do you look at those standings knowing that the Huskies are going to win? I presumed last year while I made the interview that they were going to win their 2nd cup in 4 years. And he said, no, we have a plan. We're sticking to our plans. I said, yeah, maybe your plan is good. Maybe that'll work down the road, but the fans look for W's. You can see it in the crowd right now. There's not much people at the game. I know this is hunting period in Val-d'Or. It's really important. It's a economic moment of the year, and also it's really hot for October right now. It's not really hockey time, but the number of fans in the stand, it's really disappointing right now.
And that's something to watch for. A small market. There's not really a big margin for error there. One player I wanted to ask about, of course, is former Eagle Peyton Hoyt, who finds himself finishing his Q career in Val-d'Or. He seems to be a bit popular there. Tell us about him.
He's popular because he is always foot on the pedal, and he is a true blue-collar guy. He will do everything to help the team win, but once again, he is not a point producer. And if you want to win in this league, you need guys who put the puck in the goal and the puck behind the opposing goalie. And Peyton is not doing this year. He has 1 goal in 7 games, but he is physical. He is a leader. He's a man amongst boys. I don't know, Pat, if you've ever seen him in normal clothes or walking in the street. He is a man, and he plays against sometimes 16, 17 years old. I know the offense will come down the road. They won't be chipping in 2 goals a night. But right now, pretty much everybody have a slow start, including Peyton Hoyt.
Look at Pascal Riaume. He's in his 2nd season behind the bench. Has he put his stamp on this team yet? Do we know what type of coach he is?
Not yet, not this year. It took a while. Last year, it took until after the Christmas period before everybody in the team was on the same page and applying the system. And I think a slow thing again this year. I like his style as a coach. After last weekend when the Foreurs lost 9-3 to a not that good Drummondville team, he told me that if the team has to make some changes to the veteran group, he will ask the GM. And very seldom do you hear that after 6 or 7 games. He wants to win too. Every coach wants to win now. No coach will say, let's save some for next year, the year after. Let's build a dynasty. Coaches want to win now.
Absolutely, that's what they're paid to do. Lastly, tying into what you just said about Pascal not being afraid to make changes, what do you see this team doing at Christmas? It's probably too early to really buy, but would they be a seller? What do you think?
They have nothing to sell. In this league, you sell veterans, and they need all 6 of them. I know I've been telling you, Pat, for the last 3 years, hey, Pat, wait till next year. The team will be good. Wait till next year. And I'm ashamed to tell you that wait till next year again, because there's a lot of 17 and 18 years old players right now, but their 19s now will be 20s in the league next year. They are not dominant, so they need to sell at this year's deadline 1 or maybe 2 good, maybe great 19 years old that can come back at 20 and make a difference, because next year, now Pat, I'll tell you, you can record me, you can mark my word, next year will be the year. I'm not writing off this year yet, not after 7 games. I cannot do that. But the big year is supposed to be next year, and you're missing key pieces that you can buy right now.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the franchise's approach is. We thank you for telling us all about it, François-Olivier. Best of luck and have fun covering the team this season.
You're welcome.
That's François-Olivier Dénommé joining us on the broadcast. You're listening to Carstar, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.